Are we live now?
Yes, we are. Hello, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Tech Life Weekly. I am looking at this and it's telling me I've
I'll
got.
take care of it. You just go ahead.
Okay, thanks so much. I'm here with my friend and co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. We just want to welcome you to the show today. Today's the day that we talk tech in English, and we want you to know that sometimes even the techies have tech issues. So today we're getting started just like we are right now. Come on, join the conversation. Let's talk tech in English. All righty, daddy.
All right. So I went back and
We're going to start over.
no, we're good.
Oh, we're good to go. Okay.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
Yeah, we're gonna
live
give it-
version and the replay. Hey, Jamar over in Clubhouse. It's Friday.
It's
And
tech day.
Definitely Tech Life Weekly. And we always started off with this day in tech history.
Mhm.
So I am going to, I thought I saw, oh yeah. I'm going to start with this story. May 30th, 1896. The first auto accident on record occurs in New York City when a Duryea motor wagon driven by Henry Wells collides with a bicycle ridden by Evelyn Thomas. New Yorkers probably accuse Henry of being from Jersey, but he was actually from Massachusetts. Okay, I guess that was a joke. But May 30th, 1896, the first automobile accident. I guess they were doing pretty good if that's the very first one.
I don't know, because I don't know how long automobiles had been in effect.
Right, because this was a different car. It wasn't the Ford.
It wasn't domestic.
It was a different car. It was a Drea motor wagon. So it wasn't even a Ford. So it seems that they were out for a while.
Mm-hmm. This is the first documented incident.
Yeah, that's what I think it said too. Mm-hmm. First auto accident on record. So they probably nobody bothered to write them down.
Okay, they probably just settled them.
Whatever, because that whenever there's something new, there are no rules for it.
Yes.
Then there are no rules, and so they had to put together some policies and things as it evolved.
Mm-hmm.
There were no rules. It's like, okay, how do you handle this horseless carriage? There are no rules. May 31st, 1991, Sega releases the video game Zero Wing for the Sega Mega Drive system in Europe. The game was never released in North America and was relatively unknown until years later when the poorly translated opening scene was popularized on the internet. The most famous mistranslation is the phrase, "All your base are belong to us," which has become a very popular internet meme. Okay. June 1st, 1999, the day the music industry changed forever. Sean Fanning and Sean Parker released the file sharing service Napster. The service provides a simple way for users to copy and distribute MP3 music files. It becomes an instant hit, especially among college students.
Mm-hmm.
Just over 6 months later, on December 7th, 1999, the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, will file a suit against the service alleging mass copyright infringement. Eventually, this lawsuit will force the shutdown of the company on September 3rd, 2002, but not before the popularity of downloading digital music is firmly entrenched in a generation of internet users.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it was an industry, the music industry hadn't thought about distributing on MP3. Everything was back then cassette.
So yeah, sort of like when they released Trolls. They were like, y'all going straight to the internet with this? Like not coming through the theaters? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not. The distribution of MP3 music files, and you were able to share the files with your friends,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no copyright problem until the music industry found out, oh, wait a minute, we're not getting paid.
Exactly. We're losing money here, people.
Right, because they didn't change in the industry. Supposing they had taken on that and made the MP3s and made them available to people. Okay. June 3rd, 1983, the science fiction film War Games is released, notable for bringing the hacking phenomena to the attention of the American public. It ignites a media sensation regarding the hacker subculture. The film's NORAD set is the most expensive ever built at the time at the cost of $1 million. Not widely known is that the movie studio provided the film star Matthew Broderick with the arcade games Galaga and Galaxian so he could get a first-hand experience before shooting the film's arcade scenes. And my last story today, hey, Yolanda and Jamar is over here in the clubhouse.
How you doing, guys?
The last story for today in tech history, June 4th, 1977, the VH video cassette format is introduced as VidStar in North America. At a press conference before the Consumer Electronics Show, that's CES, and that Consumer Electronics Show still goes on to this day. Okay, so it starts in Chicago. VHS or Video Home System was based on an open standard developed by JVC in 1976. As compared to the Sony Betamax format it would compete against. VHS allowed longer playtime, faster rewinding, and fast forwarding. Mm-hmm. And the thing cost a lot of money at the time too. But it was the VHS video cassette. It was kind of like a audio cassette, but with video on it. Mm-hmm. And that is your week in tech history.
Wow. Between
video. Mark, you want to weigh in on something?
Oh, I think I accidentally tapped the speaker button. I got a little sore throat, but I'm enjoying you all.
No problem.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How you doing, Jamar?
Hey, Terry, Alina. It's so good to hear your voice.
It's really good to hear your voice. How's it going out there in Oakland, California?
Oh, that's where the job is. I'm in Tracy.
Oh, you're over in Tracy, okay?
In Tracy and not go back.
Oh, okay.
Well, good to hear your voice.
Thanks, Jamar, for joining in with us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay, Terry, you gonna take us down some rabbit trails today, or are we gonna be good?
I'm gonna try to be. I'm gonna try to be good. I found out about this little device that fits on your shoe to alert you of objects in your way to help blind individuals.
Oh, good.
Yes. So it's built into the shoe, and then it has like a little camera that goes on the front of each shoe. Mm-hmm. There's a slot there to put the camera in, I guess, so you can take it out and recharge it. And you put it in the shoe, and so it alerts the individual if there is an object of obstruction in their pathway. So they hope that eventually it will allow persons who use a cane, who are visually impaired, it will allow them to walk without a cane.
Now, I think this is a good
use of technology.
Yeah, this is real good because instead of making them buy the whole shoe, they can actually have something that fits on the front of a shoe. So they can have
That's not yet.
Well, no, I understand
Mhm.
what they're doing. I'm just saying to make it better.
Yes, I'm thinking the same thing, to evolve. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make something that don't put it in. Yeah, you can put it in the shoe, but I think it would be better if they put it where the thing fits over a shoe. And it reminds me of the backup camera on a car.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you know how on the vehicles on the car, they have the sensors, the lane sensors that tell you beep, 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 you're crossing over the line or what have you. It's the same technology. I just think that it would be a lot easier if it was something I can put on my shoe. So I won't have to buy shoes with it in every pair.
Yes, because the shoes are expensive.
Right.
They're close to $500 a pair.
Right. So,
and I understand, because like you said about the cassette player,
mm-hmm.
It's expensive the first time the technology comes.
Right.
You said.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I see where they're going with it, but I think if they could make it a wearable device, like TJ loves her wearables.
Exactly.
Make it a wearable device where you can slip your shoe into the thing, and then you can have one device and wear whatever shoes you want to wear,
mm-hmm.
and be able to interchange your shoes.
Do you remember when they had the little clip-on things that you could change your little shoes out?
Bow? Yeah, yes. You can change the bow on your shoes and stuff. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Where it's just attached to the shoe. But because it goes on the front, like, on the very front, on the toe of the shoe.
Right.
There's a slot above that, and it slips in there. You'd have to have some kind of retrofit for.
Look, it can go like this. This is the people on Clubhouse can't see me, but
the front of the shoe, the toe of the shoe.
Yes, I see the toe of the shoe, but you can have something fit across here, and this thing
that's where the camera is. It's
right, here. And so, but you can still put. I can see how that would work.
I can too.
I was like, oh, y'all need to take that, and somebody is going to do that. And that company, if they don't move fast enough, somebody's going to create, because all you do is take the tech from the phone. I mean, not the phone, from the car. Mm-hmm. The same radar tech from the car, put it on something wearable, and put it on the front of the shoe.
They've already got the prototype. They could, look at what they did with the shoe.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And retrofit that to be universal.
Right, because it's already on our vehicles. It has on the front of the car will stop instead of letting you get into a crash. Right. And on the sides of the car, it'll beep, 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 to tell you that you're crossing lanes, and then you got backup cameras. So they already have the tech to do this.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was fascinating. It was fascinating to me. I like things that when they're applied, they make our lives better.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They make our lives better. So the other thing that I want to share with you is that the biggest Lego set ever made in this gigantic is this one that's coming out on August 1st in the U.S. It's a gigantic world map. Now,
really?
Yes, so let me read you the article. It says Lego is set to release the Lego Art World Map, an enormous and fully buildable world map that has over 11,000 pieces, 11,695 individual elements, as they call them, will be the biggest set the company has ever produced.
Keep the kids occupied.
Okay, and studying geography. So it measures 25.5 inches.
I think we have.
Oh, was it? I thought it was me. Oh
no, go ahead.
No, okay.
No, right. So it's huge, and it says if you're worried about where on earth, no pun intended, you'll have to painstakingly place each piece, don't be. Lego seems to be giving the strict jigsaw puzzle route for a more customized map building experience. So don't be intimidated. It's going to be okay. However, the price is very interesting. It sells for around $350. and it will be made available globally on August 1st. So buyers outside of the UK won't have to wait much longer, because right now it was released on June 1st in the UK. So guys, if you're looking for something to do this summer,
Put the world together.
what can I tell you? And if I put that together, you better believe it's going up on a wall somewhere. Okay.
There are a lot of people, not just kids, who are Lego fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
They have all of the whatever the Legos are, however they come out. Lego is a major thing.
Let me say this about the map. I'm looking at it on my iPad, and I've just recognized that all of the continents are the same color. So I got all these white pieces, and then the ocean is blue. You got all these blue pieces. I'm like, no wonder they're gonna have to help you with that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, for the Lego enthusiasts, this is going to be, you'll have
a piece of cake, right?
Well, they'll have something to do with the family and things.
So I advise you that when you open up the box, make sure you only open one element at a time. Follow the instructions. Because all those white pieces, I'm looking like, whoa, if those get mixed up, that's going to be interesting. Okay.
Well, it'll be like a jigsaw. You're going to have to find a piece that's the whole purpose of a jigsaw, is for you to find a piece that fits. Yeah. Right. But Lego is a different kind of puzzle.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to share with you. I didn't want to get into too much because I know we got a lot going on. TJ, I know you're in there working for us, because my goodness, with all of the different breaches and reaches and whoop de whoop, I know we got some stuff to talk about. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole without you. Okay.
All right. So we will give TJ the floor, because
we're turning it over to the expert today.
Okay.
Hey, Mark.
So well, good after. Is it? No, it's still morning. Good morning, everybody.
In the U.S. anyway.
Right. So this week in social media news, Twitter has been really, really, really busy. So they got a lot of news and updates. Let's jump right in. So Twitter.
Great.
Yes. Am I just me?
Oh, well, I was going to have Terry move the.
Okay, picture. I can do that.
Oh, okay.
We want to put you in a featured spot. And we're going over here to the side, honey.
So we yield to
the queen. There you go. Tell us more.
Wow. Okay, so Twitter Blue. Remember, we've been talking about this subscription service, the $2.99 a month. Well, it's live, but only in Canada and Australia as of yesterday. So they've officially announced Twitter Blue. This is their subscription service that offers access to new features. Now, we talked about some of the features. So it's an undo send. It gives you the option of retracting your tweets before they go live. I think they're going to give you 30 seconds for that. So it's not really an edit button, but this is what they're giving for this price. They have a bookmark folder feature that lets you group save tweets and make them easier to find, and a reader mode, which will gather the tweets together so you can read them in like a thread-like feature. Right. And then remember the new color options. People wanted to change the color of their icon and the app icon and all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, that's what's involved with the new subscription service. And also there's an addition to that. You'll get dedicated subscription customer support with that price. So that means Twitter Blue users will get an expedited time frame for resolving account and subscription issues. So you kind of get pushed to the top of the list because you're paying. So they're doing that. All right. So that's live in Canada and Australia.
Okay, I'm still trying to see where this is going to benefit. I'm still trying to see the benefit.
Okay. Right now, those are the benefits, but there's been talk of there'll be more levels within Twitter Blue, which will give you more things. But Twitter's, this is Twitter's thing, so they're not telling us. They're not telling us what it is. yet, but this is
wait,
what they
there's
had.
more.
This is their initial offering.
All right, because I don't need an undo button.
Right.
Not right now. And I guess this would be for people. Mark says, do they offer snacks? I want snacks. Thank you, Mark. I think this is for the heavier Twitter users who,
Right.
do a lot of posting.
Mhm.
Because if I don't do that much posting, I'm probably not going to be concerned.
Right.
Exactly.
This is for the diehard Twitter user, and if they like to, these features, then let them pay. And whenever the test gets to Canada, Australia, that means the US and the UK is next. So
Yeah.
if you want to buy it, but Twitter's still Twitter, so they say. So you don't have to buy it. I don't plan on buying it, not even to test it out, because I don't care about it.
I know you are heavy into Twitter.
I don't
That's
care
good.
about an undo. I don't care about that. I just delete my tweet and redo it.
How is the onion different than
Okay.
Okay,
Right, I had a question.
Shay has something on here. Say that again.
Okay.
I said, how is the undo button different than the delete button? I can just delete my tweet. I don't have
That's
to
what I just said. Right.
Yes, that's what TJ is talking about. It's
That's
like
what I just said. I just delete. I
I
don't care.
$2.99 to hit the delete button.
Right. But see, people want the edit
Yes, now
of a tweet. And then I don't think that's going to happen now unless they, like I said, I heard taught that Twitter's going to have different levels, like a $2.99, a $3.99, or whatever it is. They're not saying what it is, but there are more features to come to entice people to sign up for Twitter. And I read, I didn't make a note of it, but I read that by them having this level, that they will make enough revenue to keep them afloat, because they don't need a lot of people to use the subscription feature. They only need a certain amount of numbers, and I forgot to make a note of it. But it was like they don't need everybody to sign up for Twitter Blue in order for them to make a profit over it. They have a certain number of people that if they get that to sign up, then it's fine. And I don't have the number. I forgot to put that down. But there's talk of more features to come, and maybe possibly different monetization levels. Like you'll pay a different amount a month for that edit button that everybody wants. We don't know. Twitter's keeping their cards close to the vest with this Twitter Blue. So I think this is like an initial rollout test to see how it does. Diehard Twitter fans will sign up for it. I'm not one, and I love Twitter, but I'm not signing up for this. I think Alfredo has a question.
Alfredo says, how do we have free edit on Twitter? First delete. Oh, here's how.
Oh, he's saying what to do, what we just said.
Unwanted tweet. Second, rewrite the tweet.
Exactly. As long as they don't mess with Twitter as it is now, you want to use Twitter Blue, sail on to the sunset and have it. But I don't see a lot of people signing up for it. But Twitter they don't need a lot of signups.
Okay.
To make a profit. Right.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on from that, because there'll be more about Twitter Blue. I can feel that. So we'll talk about it as this comes. All right. So here's some more Twitter news. Twitter Spaces is moving. They're moving it to a dedicated Spaces tab. I checked. I don't see it. I think they said like the first 500 people who were in the beta has it. So what it is just a tab in the mobile app. At the bottom, that looks like the Spaces icon. You tap it and you go into Twitter Spaces. But right now, if you don't have it, you see a Twitter Space at the top in the fleet section. It'll be purple. And also people who tweet out that they're in a Twitter Space and you follow them, you will be able to join. So that's how that works.
Okay, apparently the people I'm following are not using Twitter.
Yeah, I see occasionally one or two people using it. Mark, I love a Mark question.
Go ahead and read his comment. Oh my gosh.
Mark,
Mark said, okay, who's pushing buttons? Mark says Twitter Blue makes it sound like you'll be getting the tweets, not appropriate for children.
Oh, blue. Like, yeah, I get it.
and then
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, TJ.
Right. They do make a profit. but they have shareholders who want to increase the profit. So subscription, and I said this maybe a month or two, subscription is the way everybody's going to increase their profits. So like I said, Twitter doesn't need everybody to sign up for Twitter Blue.
Yeah,
So,
and subscription is the way that people are.
Yeah.
They've all, because I remember going into the app store on for Apple, and before you could buy something one time,
right,
and it was done. Now it's like $5.99 a month or $40 a year or something.
Right.
I was like, what happened to lifetime purchase? That is
everybody's discovered the subscription model. So this is the deal. You get a free app in the app store or whatever, but if you want a certain amount of features, then you have to buy the next level, which is the Pro. A lot of them are calling that next level Pro, or they have different names. So if you want to remove a watermark in a free app, then you must move to the Pro, and they will push you every time you open that app. It says, oh, you get a 7-day free trial for the Pro level or the whatever level they're calling it. And if you want those features, then you have to pay. So that's where they're getting the money from, because that's a guaranteed, that's a guaranteed revenue, a subscription.
And I think the developers who make great apps should get compensated for their apps. So I don't mind, if the thing works. Now it's a different story if I got issues with the app, but okay.
Right. And I'm just so glad I bought a couple of apps before all this happened, because I have one app, InShot, that I bought something. I pay one fee and now I have it forever. But now it's like, oh, the new people have to join the subscription to get what I have. So a lot of the older apps, if you bought like Fran said, you could buy a one-time feature and you had it forever, but now they want to make it part of a monthly subscription. So I feel sorry.
Annual,
I feel monthly or annual, right? And then you get a discount if you pay the 12 months. Right. And if it's an app you like, yes, go ahead and pay it if that's what you want to do. But that's where they're going. Apps, the news. We all see the newspapers. New York Times, Washington Post, all of those, Business Insider. You click on an article on Twitter or something, and you have to pay to see. And I'm like,
to see they give you that teaser. Now,
so my question about that whole subscription thing, just because it's a side note here, but like I signed up for Apple One, which includes a whole lot of things, including Apple News, which gives me all those magazines and everything that is, I think the New York Times is in there. I'm wondering if I still have access to all the stories within that because of my subscription.
I believe so.
Because that's right there is a better bargain.
Yes.
By all them individual publications.
As going with that boutique approach. Yeah.
Right.
Now, Al, did you read Al's comment?
Yeah. Al said, what business pain point will Twitter Blue solve? And she read
it doesn't solve any business pain point. What it is Twitter has not subscribers, shareholders that they want to return on their investment. So Twitter has to create new items, which is the subscription, which brings in the money.
They have been patient.
Right, because they just went profitable back in 2017.
Right. And they went public in 2013, I think. I'll have to check the date. But they have to increase profits.
Okay, well, Mark says you're gonna have to pay this to talk to him.
Mark says I'm gonna charge a monthly subscription for you to see my comments here. Okay, Mark.
That's funny. All right, so more Twitter stuff. Let's keep it rolling. Twitter starts testing fleet ads. Now, fleets, remember we said fleets are stories in the Twitter app, and they're at the top. All the stories in most of these apps are little circles at the top of the app. So Twitter calls theirs fleet. So now they're testing fleet ads within the fleets, because there's no ads now. So here's another place where they can place more ads, get more revenue, make the shareholders happy. Because that's Twitter. That's what Twitter's in the business of: make a shareholder happy and making profit. So that's what comes first. So here we go. So they've got, they're going to put those there, and we'll see how it goes, because they want to monetize the fleet section.
Okay,
it's ad placement.
How many people, I'm just asking because I don't, how many people have actually watched fleets from people?
I looked at a couple of fleets. Most of the fleets are tweets that when you tweet something, you can send it to fleet. So most of the tweets most of the fleets that I see are tweets, but you can do photos and videos. I haven't seen a lot of those. Not like Instagram.
So fleets is the answer to TikTok.
Yes.
Twitter.
It's the response.
Well, it could be if they're making it, but the Twitter user isn't like, I'm there to make TikToks. They're there to get research and information and make conversations. Now they can do that with video, but like I said, I haven't seen any. I've seen a couple spaces. I see a lot of fleets because those are the circles at the top. And when I tap on them, they're the tweet that the person tweeted on their timeline, and they just shared it to fleets.
Okay.
So
to Twitter, fleets is another place for ad placements when they're, offering their ad service to business owners or whoever wants to run an ad.
Okay.
The more placements you have, the more money you make within the platform.
Okay. So this fleets used to be Vine. Am I right?
Yes.
It could be, but personally, I don't see anybody doing videos or anything in fleets. It's all been tweets.
Exactly. So but anyway.
But they could do that. But yeah, they could do a Vine-like thing.
Okay.
I can see a lot of applications for this.
I can, I too. Yeah.
Particularly if you're an educator.
Right.
Because the deal is that most people have already found a solution to get their message out by video. And a lot of them just went on and just opened up a YouTube channel.
Right.
Because it wasn't available.
All right. So I'm looking at my fleets. And when I go into it at the top, it says share a fleeting thought. And it says text, camera roll, capture, video, or a Twitter space. So yes, you could do a Vine-like thing in there. But like I said, I don't see anybody doing video, or I've seen maybe a picture from a camera roll or whatever, or a graphic once or twice. Most of it is people tweet something and then when you get ready to do it, it says you want to share it to your fleet, and most people do that because it's another place to look.
Yes.
Okay. I still don't like the name, but here we are.
No, because okay. Marketing 101. Okay.
So leading thoughts was the bomb. So there we go. We got it.
All right. So one or two more things from Twitter. They've been busy. So now Twitter is charging for the weather. They're announcing tomorrow a new local weather service. Okay. Because a lot of people go to Twitter for things like this, for the news, for the weather. And with the weather, they mean what is particularly happening locally. Like there may be a tornado in Arkansas or something, but the rest of the country is not interested in that. But if you're in Arkansas in that town, you're concerned about the talk about a tornado or a storm or whatever. So a lot of people go to Twitter for latest breaking up to date news, and weather is one of them. So Twitter wants to launch this weather service, and they're saying it's in 16 cities in North America, and they're going to have 18 local meteorologists who will create content and interact with members of the service. So think the Weather Channel.
That's
on
what
Twitter.
I'm thinking.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I'm with Mark. There are free weather apps, so no. And you you pull the phone up and you ask, what's the weather from your phone already?
I agree. I agree.
The same shareholders who want more money are now going to spend more money.
So this feature costs $10 per month, and you get to ask the meteorologist an unlimited number of questions with a guaranteed response. So like I said, it's the Weather Channel, but there will be like 18 or so meteorologists on call because you paid $10. So if you say, hey, is it going to rain at 3:00 where I am, you're going to get a response from a live person. So that's what they're trying to give this.
You know what's insane about that? 18 people cannot respond to thousands
Well, it's
of
not.
people.
No. It's not everywhere. It's only in certain
It's
cities
only in
right now.
60 cities.
Right.
I get that.
Mhm.
It's
And it's during
16 cities.
wait a minute. It's
Mhm.
during emergency conditions. I'm not calling if the sun's out. I'm calling because the hurricane is 18 miles from the shore. Now we're all calling, and they got 18 people. Come on, TJ. You know what I'm saying? And who are supposed to be responding live. You feeling me?
Mhm.
That's
if
going. That's
they're
going
not
to be really
exiting,
interesting.
if
Huh?
they're not exiting the studio trying to get somewhere for cover.
You feeling me?
Well, now it doesn't say live. It just says an unlimited number of questions with a guaranteed response. So that could be,
Oh, okay.
text based. I don't think it's live like on video. Not for $10. I don't think that.
Mm.
You also get a weekly weather newsletter, and you get early access to podcasts and long form news. So really, it is like the Weather Channel. Because if you watch the Weather Channel, they'll have the weather report, and then they'll go into a weather related story, or they doing background stuff about weather in different places. So it'll be that.
Mark got jokes. You paid to see them swept up in the tornado.
I'm thinking storm trackers. The people who are interested in that kind of thing would probably
right.
pay.
There are people that are, like you said, the storm trackers. There are people on Twitter that will follow storm trackers and weather people and whatever, because they like that. So this is for them. It's not for us, because we already have a device. The phone, you go to Google and ask the weather. This is not for that.
The weather is the first app on the first page of the phone.
Right. But see, this is for people who are into the weather like that. Like,
not only that, TJ.
The weather groupies.
Okay, that's different then.
The weather groupies, they have them.
Okay, that's a whole different, because I'm not a weather groupie. I don't.
Yeah, see, we have no understanding.
Okay.
No, it's a thing on Twitter where there's people that follow certain weather people or meteorologists or like storm chasers. Isn't there a reality show on one of the channels, called Storm Chasers? They chase the storms. That is their audience.
Okay, so they do have an audience for this, because I was trying to figure out
they got a niche group. Okay,
yeah, that's for the niche people who want to pay $10 for that. Okay,
yeah.
That's more than the $2.99 for the.
So here we
Mark
go. Twitter.
He's a Biz Chicks groupie. Okay, thank you, Mark.
So Twitter's coming up with, and we talked about this earlier this year, that they were gearing up to create all of these things to bring in revenue. This is one of them. Is the weather, what's it called? Tomorrow? Hold on. It's called Tomorrow. So it's a local weather news service for people who want to go deeper into the weather, who follow storm chasers. You're into that. This is for you. This is up your alley. Again, Twitter doesn't need everybody to sign up for this. They just need a certain amount, and they know
where they get everybody to sign up for that. Okay.
Wow.
There's a group for it.
Bless them. May they be a blessing to their children.
Okay, so one last thing for Twitter. Twitter is testing new misinformation labels on tweet to try to stop the spread of misinformation on the platform. They've got that problem, misinformation. There was a guy spreading fake news. There's people still spreading fake news in his name on Twitter, even though that guy got banned, but there's still misinformation, people trying to confuse the situation with other people. It's a mess. So they're trying a new labeling system that will alert a user about more recent updates regarding the topics within a tweet. So there are going to be 3 labels. One called Get the Latest. This label will be used on more time-sensitive topics as events evolve. This is for things like like the elections, like or sports or things like that. So they want to label it get more. Here's another one, stay informed. This would be used again with stuff like with COVID-19. This label connects users with authorities who can give better definitive answers about a topic. And the third one will be labeled misleading. This label will flag any blatant tweets that contain questionable claims and give users a link to authoritative information. So I think authoritative would be like from the government, the CDC, or whatever. So they're trying this labeling system. What do you think?
Yeah,
Why don't they just say it's
they're lying.
it needs to be authenticated?
Well,
I mean, just something more definitive than what was that last category? It just
Get the latest, stay informed, and misleading.
misleading.
So
that doesn't say anything.
The labels will be triggered by different specific keywords with the tweet. So they already know the keywords that they're looking for. So the AI will look out for that and determine which level it needs to be labeled.
So the misleading, I can see it's going to stop all that stuff that we were getting before.
That's what they're trying to do, right?
Just, okay, if you do this and just get 10 people to follow you, then it's going to shut down a lot of crazy.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, shut down the crazy.
Mark said, I'm going to pitch. Why'd you tweet that?
Well, yeah, we need that. We need that for dumb tweets.
He's like, why'd you tweet that? Okay.
All right. So moving on to LinkedIn. We never talked about LinkedIn. This is a day late and a dollar short news. If you're a fan of dark mode, LinkedIn has dark mode on the desktop app. Whoop.
Okay.
They're really late with this.
Okay.
Dark mode has been, how long has dark mode been out on other platforms?
Oh, a while.
I don't know,
Okay.
LinkedIn. Good for you. Okay, moving on to Spotify. Spotify has an Only You feature that highlights your musical taste. Now, I tried this out yesterday, and when you go into your Spotify app, there's a section, a little graphic that says Only You. Let me see if I can get it to come up. Oh, no, it's not there anymore. Oh. But it's a little graphic and it says Only You. You tap it and then it shows in a story form your musical taste for I'm not sure monthly or weekly, but they're saying Only You celebrates the unique ways in which eligible users listen, but we know that music is powerful in bringing people together. So alongside the Only You, they're also rolling out a new personalized feature called Blend. So Blend is in beta. Blend is it invites two friends with a Spotify account, free or paid, to merge their musical taste into one curated playlist. And then how you find it is it looks like stories. Hold on, I gotta let me see if I can bring up the screen share so you guys can see.
Okay.
Boy,
you gotta really be into music. Or maybe you want to share music with your boyfriend or something. I don't know. Friends.
Best people, besties, things like that. Let me see.
So you know what I'm saying?
Maybe I'm not social enough, but I was like, I don't want to share my music with you. I just don't.
All right, hold on. I'm just looking. Oh, here it is. Here's the graphic.
Maybe this is geared for a different age group too.
Yes, it is. It is geared for a different age group.
Girl, did you hear this song?
Right,
let me share it with you, Daddy. It's a new way of sharing.
See. Now, can you see that? Is that clear enough?
Yeah, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is these are examples. Like if you like Doja Cat, she's one of the Gen Z's, whatever's. Okay. It says fans have listened to Doja Cat 4 million something minutes of Will something. And then the next one is Stephanie Sue something. Well, it just goes in and the stories show what you like the artist you like and stuff. I wish I had kept mine.
And a little is there a little blurb about the artist or something, or just
there's a little blurb about the artist. Let me see. I think I shared mine to Facebook. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
So is it sort of just like an album cover and
well, it's not the album cover, it's the artist.
The artist, I mean, a picture of the artist and some little verb about how many.
Oh, yeah, I did share it. Okay, let me see if I can get it to come. Oh, why is it so small? Yeah.
Okay.
Small.
And I guess it works, especially if you're into music or whatever.
Really?
Well, yeah, if you use Spotify, and then mine says my unique moment, and then it has an album cover. Oh, it's not. The story is going.
Okay, so now Mark's got some comments over here.
So it says play on, and it has a link. Play on Spotify and use the hashtag only you. Now that's the only you. The blend is where you and a friend get to blend your songs together and share it. It's all story featured in Spotify.
Okay.
Mark says, I want to get this in because he's talking about this subject. He says, only you celebrates and reminds you that you have terrible taste.
Oh, that's so funny. But see, the thing is, if you're doing it with a friend, the friend knows you and knows your musical taste. So
music, okay.
Right. So it won't be that bad.
And again, this is for a specific segment of people because I would not utilize that.
Right. And see, this is why I talk about demographics and the generations. That's why I talk about that, because this generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, is going to use this. Yeah. Millennials are going to use it. Gen X, maybe. Boomers, not, because if they're not on Spotify.
Well, and here's the other thing too. I realized when I went into my Apple Music, or I went in there to play some music, do you want this on Spotify, Pandora? I'm like, why don't we just leave it where it was? But you know what I mean? Because there are options now, and I was like, I was good. Leave it where it was. Just leave it in Apple Music. I'm fine.
That's all that collaboration you wanted, Fran. It also causes cross-pollination and pollution.
Right, but they asked me when I opened it up, okay, how would you like to listen to this? Do you want to listen to it in Spotify? Do you want to listen to, shall I open Pandora? And I'm like, no, I hadn't been in Pandora in a long time. Like, no.
Me either. Me either. I'm like, Pandora, is that still around? Yes, it's still around. So yeah, so this is, more Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Millennial. If you're a Spotify user, you'll find this exciting. Again, it may be a different place to put ads if they start to do ads for the free users. That's another place to put ads. So again, it's content. It's to get people to use the app. It's to get people engaged within the app, and it's also going to be a place to put ads, right?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of these social media updates and things aren't for every generation; they're for different generations. So they know who uses their app. Like Snapchat users are 13 to 30, something like that. So Snapchat is going to give them features and things that appeal to them to get them to keep using the app.
Okay.
But they do have older users, but that's not their core demographic. You have to focus on your core demographic. You can't serve up content to everybody. That's a lot of content. Facebook is probably the one that serves up content to everybody, but that's because we're the ones doing content. Facebook doesn't create any content for us. So that's the difference.
That's the difference.
A lot of these other apps, they have to keep their core users engaged. That means new features, new content, new this, new that. And this is what Gen Z, Gen Alpha, they like this kind of thing. They like to share their musical taste. They like to share everything. Like my nephew was when he worked for Delta, and he was just sharing all kind of stuff on Facebook, and his mom was like, boy, stop sharing all that. But he didn't care because he's in a different age bracket where they share everything online. It's not a thing to them. It's a thing to us, but it's not a thing that concerns them. So you have to look at it through their eyes. So Spotify, Spotify is giving them what they want by trying to keep them engaged.
Okay.
They all do that. Okay, so we're going to move on to Facebook and WhatsApp. We'll start with that. WhatsApp is confirming that, and Zuckerberg said this out of his own mouth, WhatsApp is getting Snapchat style features. So they're going to introduce a lot of features, new features to WhatsApp. And I just moved my notes. I touched my iPad.
I guess because I don't use WhatsApp. I don't either.
Mhm.
I don't know how it works, but go ahead.
It's a messaging app that
So
it's more in use in other countries than here,
Yeah.
but it's used here.
It's like Messenger. Okay.
Yes. So they are going to have the Snapchat like feature. So this is going to be the Snapchat style disappearing messages.
Okay.
Also, they're introducing multi-device support, which they didn't have before, because if you logged into one device, you can log into another device, but it logs you out of the first one. Get it? So they're setting up to where you stay logged into each device.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Also, they're saying that users will be able to sync messages with up to 4 devices, and the content will remain end-to-end encrypted. Okay, so that's so some of the things that they're coming up with: the disappearing mode, which turns on disappearing messages. So they're trying, the Zuckerberg is trying to get people to use WhatsApp. Basically, that's what it is.
Okay.
Hey, Dr. Chachi, how you doing?
Hey, no, that wave wasn't for you. That was for them.
I know.
But Zuck,
have they fixed the issue that was having with WhatsApp when it was reading everything on your phone?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't use WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp, so we have to ask a WhatsApp user why they like it. I'm like, as soon as I heard that story that someone in Israel or whatever could hack and see use the app to hack your phone without you having it open, I was like, I'm done, and I deleted it. So,
so I still have it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I still have it, but I don't use it as often because a lot of people that I know, because, obviously my family not being in the US, a lot of people now have kind of switched to Signal or Telegram. And so I don't use WhatsApp as much, but from what I understand, no, they have not fixed that problem.
No.
It's not fixed, see?
Okay.
But it's a popular app. Like Dr. Tati says, a lot you keep up with friends and family in other countries. It's easy. But also remember, Facebook had that thing earlier this year where you had to agree to WhatsApp new terms, and then then there was an outroar, so they took it away, but it's really there. They're just going to gradually take away features that you won't be able to use until you agree to the new agreement. So, and Dr. Tati's right, because
behavior.
because of the new privacy feature they want to agree to, a lot of people jump to Signal and Telegram. And that was earlier this year, I think like March or so. Forgot when it was. But there was an outrage and people were like, I'm not using WhatsApp, we're moving to Signal. So now everybody's moved to Signal and Telegram. But I don't use it. All right, so Facebook has launched a tool that let users know if their images are used without permission. I see this being a kind of a good tool to have. It's going to be on the Insight tab in the Rights Manager section. Now, I don't know what that is. I didn't take time to look at it. I will try to find it. But we'll have statistics for match images and details on how well the images are performing. It will show likes and comments and the demographic of the viewers of these images. Now, here's the big deal. It will have protection insights showing how often the images are blocked and restricted. And it will also lead into a copyright issues resulting in takedown. So this will be a connection to where if someone is misused, say you're a photographer and somebody is using your images without permission, this is a tool to find them and have it taken down for copyright issues. So this tool came out of the video part of what they were doing with the videos tools, because there was a part where you could go and have this tool find video that people were using without permission, and you could do the takedown. So now they're moving it to images. So this is going to be a big deal in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, so you may not want to grab your images from Google.
I feel like it's going to go there. It's not quite there yet, but they have the copyright issues section in this tool. So we're going to keep an eye on it. All right, two quick things, and we'll get into media. Facebook is testing a prayer post features for groups.
Yes, I was.
You saw that?
Now what?
Talk about it, T.
Okay, so I just have, this, they're just testing it, but it has a section in a group where if you want to ask someone to pray for you, it's already there. And I had a link for it, but I see if I can get it to come up.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay, here it is. I'll just read it. It says, introducing prayer posts. You may enable group members. It's a setting in your group. You may enable group members to ask for and respond to prayers in a post. You can manage prayer request posts and who can create them in group settings. Okay.
Oh.
So it's a feature in the group.
You have to turn it on.
Yeah, the group, the owner of the group has to turn it on, and it's a feature where you're a member of the groups. You'll see that option to do that.
And then you can indicate whether or not you prayed. You can respond.
Okay, so you've seen it. Good. I haven't seen it.
No, I was reading the article.
Oh, you read it? Okay.
Further down.
I thought maybe you saw it. It's like, oh, you saw it. Let us know.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole before you got on, because sometimes my stuff spirals. So, okay.
Yeah.
So do they have an option for a virtual sick and shut-in list asking for a friend?
They can do that.
I guess it depends on the administrator. What they
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Virtual
an option
church.
they turn on, and we haven't seen it in a while, so they're testing it. And if anybody see it, let us know how it works. So
as an administrator to the group, you can
Now, see, they actually got something that's a benefit to people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, they found that people were using it that way because of so much happening
Going on. Yeah.
Right.
So they listened and did something that the people actually wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Tati said, I heard that. All right.
My concern is this: how private is private. But go ahead.
All right. So one more feature of Facebook groups. It's tied in. We're talking about groups. So they have another feature called anonymous posting, and it's being added to more group types because it was only available in parenting or health related groups. So it's a feature when you go you can create anonymous posts in the group. And they're saying anonymous posts appear in this group without your name. Your name will still be visible to the group admins and moderators and to Facebook systems.
So hold on. Why would I want to be anonymous in the group? That's
because you don't want, because you want you want to say something and put your information there, but you don't necessarily want people to know that it's you.
Right? Because it was in parenting groups and health groups. So health groups, they're sharing health information. They might want to ask a question, but don't have it connected to their profile.
Right.
Okay.
The question gets asked and answered, and it says anonymous. So the person that's asking it that doesn't want to share any details or, whatever condition they have, they can get the answer they seek without it being tied to them.
Got you. Okay.
So well, is it closed ended? Well, in a sense, or it's open ended where you can ask questions and.
Well, it's anonymous posting. So instead of you posting as Dr. Tachi, there's an option that says post as anonymous. So it will say anonymous.
Oh, okay. I get
it. You say whatever you want.
Say what you want, and then it
won't have your name. It will be anonymous.
So, Teralina, you can't post. Don't forget go to the front of your own line, because then people will know it's you. So, so.
Okay. One last thing. Instagram is expanding its Reels ads test to new markets. Remember, we said Reels they were going to put ads there, so they're starting to test that in Australia, Brazil, Germany, and India. Now it's rolling out to Canada, France, the UK, and the US. So look out for ads in your Reels.
Okay, haven't we been seeing ads anyway?
Not in Reels, in stories.
Maybe I don't watch Reels, but okay.
Not in Reels, stories.
But you know what the thing is, when you watch, when you go and watch, everything is sort of mashed together. So you get stories and Reels simultaneously. So I don't know if you would even notice that there was a difference, because they really could have slid it in and said nothing, and nobody would know.
Right.
Nobody would know. Yeah.
And see,
So
you know it's a
interesting.
reel because, and this is what I noticed. I know it's a reel because there's a real icon on the reel at the bottom.
Correct.
Left.
If you're paying attention.
If you're paying attention. Yeah.
Most people are just looking at the content and you don't notice, oh, well, it's been longer than 15 seconds or 30, you know, it's been up to a minute. It's just all one slew of content. But isn't that what they were aiming for?
Yes. So
confusion. Yes. Okay.
And one last thing about
we're just spent when it comes to FB. Go ahead.
Okay, one last thing when it comes to Instagram, because we brought up stories. Instagram is testing a time remaining indicator for stories. That means the circles at the top with the stories, and remember the time, it has a clock, so it runs out in 24 hours. You'll be able to see the time length left for the story.
Oh, in other words,
so time indicator.
Okay.
Okay, in case you want to, it's just letting you know because it's going to disappear anyway.
Yeah, because the story lasts 24 hours. So you didn't know where the 24-hour was. Now there's a little timer at the bottom of each circle. 1 hour left, 13 hours left, 12 hours left, 23 hours left, whatever the time from when the person posted it.
So does reels go away too, or is it reels?
Not reels. Reels don't go away. Reels don't go away.
Okay.
Reels don't go away.
Now that's something that I might find interesting.
Okay. And that's your social media news for this week.
Oh my gosh!
A lot of Twitter news.
I was really intrigued by the whole prayer thing. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was available.
Yeah, and so they're testing it.
Yeah, and I think it's been available since August or something. So I was just like, okay, interesting. Very, very interesting.
And so those of you who are in the clubhouse, if you want to weigh in on anything we're talking about, give insight, your experiences or whatever, we invite you to go ahead and have a say.
Yeah.
This is Tech Life Weekly. We talk tech and talk tech where you can understand it, because we use tech every day of our lives. And sometimes we just don't know how or what's available and things of that nature. And the next segment of our program features Dr. Tachi, who's going to be telling us about what's happening this week in media. Dr. Tachi.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
She said me. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. I'm good, you know. Same busyness as usual. So we have a couple, welcome everyone. We have a couple of things that I talked about actually on Mediascope that I'm going to go through. So if you are familiar with Gavin MacLeod, the actor, he played on Love Boat. He also played on Mary Tyler Moore. He passed away Saturday at the age of 90. So this was from like last week. Yeah. So if you were wondering whatever happened to Gavin MacLeod, yes, he was doing what he was alive and well, passed away around friends and family, and he will be missed and remembered, because I certainly remember I used to love Love Boat when I was little. Me too. Yeah, right. I loved it. But you know that's where B actors went to revive their careers.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, oh, this person hasn't done something in a while. Let me see if I can get them onto Love Boat. That and Fantasy Island.
Yes.
Oh, love Fantasy Island.
Coming back.
You know what? I haven't heard about it since the last time I talked to you all. And it was Rosalind Sanchez, who was going to be playing the niece of Ricardo Montalban. And so I haven't heard anything yet where they are in production, but I think it's still happening. For those of you who just when you needed another reboot, here comes Fantasy Island. Yay.
Yeah.
I sort of liked Fantasy Island though. But
I liked it.
Well, you like this new version though. That's always the problem.
I don't know.
Reboots, it's like, oh, well, this time we're going to make this family such as. Then why even take the name XYZ? At least this follows suit in the story. Sometimes they will pick something and it has nothing to do. I'm like, well, why did you pay for all the rights to this show if you were just going to go ahead and change everything. This way, just make up something new.
Yeah.
Anyway, so rest well, Gavin MacLeod. You will be missed. Also, let's take a look at what's happening more on the TV front. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it is the TV front. Well, streaming front.
Yeah.
Again, just when you thought you were out of stuff to watch on streaming services, and you need one more, right? Don't we all need just one more streaming service?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you want another one. Raise your hand. In enters working title CNN Plus. So it is. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I sounded like a ghost when I said that. Yes.
Space Ghost. You sound like Space Ghost. Space Ghost.
He said, what is this called? Chachi, did you say CNN Plus?
That is the working title right now. CNN Plus.
Why?
Why? They're everywhere right now.
Because
Stanley
we need
Tucci.
one more.
The Stanley Tucci Italy series.
Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, he had it's on CNN. It's a four or five part.
Oh yeah.
Remember? That's what they're going to do.
So they're going to do stuff like that. I mean, if Anthony Bourdain was still alive, may he rest. They probably would have had him on there doing something. So it is a branded streaming service. Obviously, their working title is CNN Plus. We don't know what it's actually going to be called. I would just go with Plus because it makes sense. It's going to include shows from personalities that are already on there, like Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper. Not the shows though that they have on the linear CNN platform. Okay. These would be new shows.
Maybe they do an in-depth interview with
or documentaries or something.
Okay. Well, it's going to have to be a lot of documentary. Now, I will say this: CNN does tend to have good docuseries and documentaries. I watched one on hip hop and fashion years ago. Yeah, it was about 4 years ago from CNN. Brilliant, wonderful. So I would like to see some things like that. What it is that you're going to do that you can't put on regular CNN, I don't know. But that's the type of thing. So they have a new deal with a lot of their anchors. And this is what, according to the Wall Street Journal, and TV Newser, Ben Mullen is a columnist, and he says this, that CNN has struck a bunch of new deals with many of their anchors over this past year. In the pandemic, that would encompass their work for CNN Plus. So this indicates that they've known for a while they were going to spin off into a streamer, and they're trying to get as many people on board as possible. So
this is why they had Don Lemon had the name change for his show. He said, "Oh, this the end of CNN tonight," and then people thought he was leaving, and he said, "No, I'm changing the name." I was like, odd.
So that it can be on CNN.
Yeah, right. New deal,
but the same. Look, there's nothing different that any of them are going to say. If you ask me, for this to work, it needs to be significantly different from CNN.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, so they said that those locked into the pay increases, these deals rather locked pay increases for these anchors. But they don't include bonuses that are tied to eventual subscriber numbers or for so for example, you have a show that has done really well, better than others on similar platforms in the same time slot. What CNN will do was they'll give bonuses to anchors for that. And I can't say that is the case for everyone, but I can say with 99.9% certainty at MSNBC, I'm sure it's the same. At Fox, it's the same. All of these news over-the-top streamers, I think it's the same deal. So that's what's happening with that. And reportedly, CNN is hiring hundreds of new staff to take care of CNN Plus. So, and this is the way you also know, if you're the type of person, if you want to know what's going on in the industry, let's just say this, watch who these entities are hiring. Go to the job boards. See what they're hiring for. I subscribe to entertainmentcareers.net and a couple of others, and I have for a while because I was always trying to look for internships for my students. And so I always get these things. I'm like, oh, they're hiring for what? That lets you know the direction that they're going to go in. Okay. So it's not a hidden thing, but most people are not going to think, let me see what they're hiring for to determine the direction this company is going to go in. But music business worldwide is the same thing. They often put things out there. TechCrunch has a job board that puts things out there, so that lets you know. So pay attention to that if you want to know what is happening in this industry. So that's what's happening there, and it will remain to be seen what type of programming they have on there and how well it does. Is this going to be another case? On cable they have HBO 1, HBO 2, HBO 3. They're up to HBO 17 with very little content. So hopefully they are able to glean some good content from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, and that's where then they went from 17 to HBO Max. Something like that.
Exactly. Let's combine them all into one, HBO Max. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about MJB, otherwise known as Mary J. Blige. If you are interested in her life, My Life, her documentary is coming out on Amazon Prime on June 24th. So you've got a couple of weeks and you're going to be able to watch that on Amazon Prime Video. Excuse me, her proper name. So it's called Mary J. Blige's My Life. And she's executive producing it along with Puffy. Also, the world knows him as Sean P. Diddy Combs. But those of us, TJ, those of us in New York, nobody called him Diddy. He's still Puffy.
He's
whatever.
Puffy. He's Puffy or Puff.
Puff, right. Puffy or
Right.
Puff. Everybody, and when you listen to other people that he works with, even in
They still
interviews,
call him Puff.
They still say Puff or Puffy.
Yep.
So he's Puffy. P. Diddy.
Okay.
Puffy. So, I mean, he's not sending me any bottles of Ciroc. I can call
Me
him what he
either.
wants.
Exactly.
So again, so they're two of the EPs. It is directed by Vanessa Roth and produced by Ashana K. Ayers and K. Nicole Jackson. So there's quite a thing on there. Here's the official description. Let me read it if I can get my voice together. Excuse me. 9-time Grammy-winning recording artist and Academy Award-nominated singer and actress Mary J. Blige set the music world on fire with her trailblazing 1994 LP, My Life, a collection of powerful confessionals about her battles with abuse, depression, and addiction that forged a profound and enduring connection with millions of fans around the globe. So Vanessa Roth apparently is an Oscar winner, and she, in this documentary, the singer, producer, and actress reveals the demons and blessings that inspired the record and propelled her from the soul-crushing world of New York's housing projects to international stardom. So, it's also the 25th anniversary of the My Life album, so it's coming out at a great time. And if you're interested in watching the trailer for this, go on to YouTube. We don't want to get dinged for anything. So go on to YouTube and you can watch the Mary J. Blige's My Life trailer there. So that's interesting.
Can I say a little bit about Mary J? I just had a little encounter with her.
Oh,
she's come a long way. And this is like I think in the 90s that I was at a restaurant and I saw her and her party came in. And this is when she used to wear the hats and the shades and she would cover herself completely. She sat at the table the whole time with her hat like this. You couldn't really see anything, and she sat like that. So she's come a long way, like, in her career and emerging as an artist who is opening up and sharing more. So I just thought I'd bring that up. I remember that she was very hat down, like here, and her head down, and very closed. It's interesting.
It is very interesting because you take what happens is you have all these wonderful artists, people with all this talent, right? And it really takes artist development, right? Mm-hmm. To make them into an artist, because you're really, really a regular person who has a talent before, right? Right. You are a regular person that has a talent, but then once you become reared and developed as an artist and they work with you, you become this international superstar that we know as Mary J. Blige now. But before, she was a kid of the projects and Yonkers. So, absolutely. Yeah, so,
I really just congratulate her on her career. She's a wonderful, talented singer.
Absolutely. Wonderful. and actress.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and actress. Yes, I love that.
Mm-hmm. You gotta spin it off. You can't just be one thing. I have another story.
Okay, good.
And this is for people that are Coachella fans. YouTube is going to live stream. Excuse me. Today is not a good day for my voice. YouTube is going to live stream Coachella in 2022. So remember, it's been canceled for the past 2 years. It's coming back. So those of you that love music in the desert, in the middle of nowhere with porta potties, you are going to be happy about this one.
But see, you can have the experience without that desert.
Going to the desert of California is no joke.
It's not a joke. It's hot as hell.
Really?
Wow. The desert is no joke. You know, they think we have all this sunny weather and the beach and stuff.
I do. Yeah.
The desert.
Okay, so are they gonna stream this? Because I'm like,
yeah,
they are. So YouTube is going to stream it. They've done it before. This is not new.
It's not new.
It's not new.
Yeah.
I watch Coachella every year. They have a whole Coachella channel on YouTube where they stream the entire thing for the entire festival. In fact, they have 3 Coachella channels on YouTube. So you can split between, they have the main stage channel and then they have the other subsequent stages.
The side stages. Yeah.
Side stages, exactly. So I was flip between them depending on who's doing, and I like Coachella because it gives me the opportunity to experience new bands, new acts I may not have known about. And what I do is it's the same. That's how I find out about, new music. I'll listen to or watch Coachella and see who's on the roster. I'll watch things on YouTube, like Colors is another great thing on YouTube. And Colors has a lot of UK artists, and you can find out a lot about a lot of things that way as well. So I really like that. But do I want to sit in the desert with a bunch of Gen Z and lower end of millennials and porta potties and people with their festival wear, with their onesies? I do not.
Their onesies.
And so this reminds me of Woodstock. Isn't that what they did with Woodstock?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, this is, Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza is the modern day amalgamation of what Woodstock was. Okay. So Lollapalooza is coming back this summer.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
So we're starting to see these festivals come back. I'm not ready for festival going.
I'm not ready for mass gatherings right now with all that's going on.
I'm not ready.
I am ready. I am not ready. I'm not
They're
ready.
Ready.
For all these. They're ready. They've been ready because they've been doing it. I told you I would do my patrols down Fort Lauderdale Beach like this and look at people with no mask and sneer. That was my entertainment during lockdown. So I just had to get in the house before curfew. But they were all on people's laps in the elbow room, and because we have a stupid governor. So, people were not paying attention or heeding then. Now that we have pseudo freedom, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So that's what
I like about New York, that we, the mask mandate is kind of pretty much over, but everybody here, at least in my neighborhood, everybody's wearing that.
They're still doing it.
Yeah.
We're still masked up.
Yeah, but we don't have to be. But the people here are like, okay, all of the establishments you go into, they tell you we want to wear masks first here.
Right.
So most of them are telling you need to be masked when you come in here.
Absolutely. And let me say hey to Jasmine down there at the bottom. I'm waiting. How are you, Jasmine, on Clubhouse? Welcome, Jasmine. And this is for you, Jasmine. I will make this this announcement at this other part of what's happening. So I don't know if you hear, you guys know that I watch D Nice, the DJ, a lot.
Yeah.
I am a certified card carrying CQ member. Hey, Jasmine. And he has announced, Tuesday, he announced via live stream, via special announcement, that there is going to be a Club Quarantine Live that will take place August 29th, which is a Sunday, at the Hollywood Bowl.
Wow.
Nice.
They're already sold out to like almost the last sections of the bowl, and the bowl holds over 17,000 people. So,
wow.
You're asking, am I going? No, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I bought a ticket. Am I going? That's a different case.
So you coming to Cali?
Look now.
She said, look now. One step at a time.
One step at a time. Let me go to get over the fact that there's going to be a whole bunch of people there with no masks.
17,000 people.
I have a ticket.
But see, they need to, because our governor here, they were trying to stone him and tar him and feather him.
You said
he would not open some stuff up. So I don't know, the Hollywood Bowl, I don't know what the gathering situation is. I know we had limited numbers per however many.
I think we're opening up on the 15th. And when is this thing, on the 17th or something?
It is August 29th.
Okay, we might be open.
Okay,
might be open by then.
So it might be open. All right. So, Jasmine, are you going to this said event?
Jasmine?
Dr. Tachi, now you know I'm going.
I know that was a stupid question.
No,
that was a damn stupid question.
No, what's funny is a friend of mine who I met through CQ, like we were, of course, everyone was kind of like trying to guess what his announcement was going to be, because he had, said he was going to make this announcement or whatever. And we both were like, oh, maybe it's going to be something for next year. That's cool. Like, by then we'll be a little more comfortable, blah, blah, blah. And we had talked about going to something else that someone is hosting in the Caribbean later this month.
TKB and TBKS.
Kenny Burns.
Yeah, Kenny Burns.
And then we both were like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable going, to something like that. So we decided not to go. And then when he announced when D-Nice announced August 29th, all of that went out the window. We were like, oh no, we are not.
But see, this is the thing, everyone. It's like when you're part of a community like that, like either Kenny Burns's community or a lot of these DJs and personalities during the pandemic have really stepped up and connected with people through social media. So you have these parasocial relationships with them, right? They're your friends in your head. Some people think they're their friends for real, but they're their friends in your head, right? So you know it's the truth. So you're doing all these things, and then as soon as they're like, we're going to Hawaii, everybody drops everything and they're ready to go, because you formed these not only relationships with the personality, but with other people in the space and in the room. And some people talk every day. Some people have really formed genuine friendships through this and business partnerships, etc. So, this type of thing is really the pinnacle and the icing of the cake to be able to meet in person.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's one of one of my other main reasons for going. Of course, the music and getting to, experience the party live and all of that. But it's the people who I've, connected with. Some people, like a little bit more than others, but still, I still am like, it's still going to be nice to see these people in person, to, talk to them in person and have conversations with these people in person, because y'all don't realize we've spent a lot of time virtually, but still together, not just in a CQ live, like in one another's lives. Or,
right, exactly. Like, you're a Mediascope stan, and I love you for it. So, I mean, you spend a lot of time together to the point of people are like, do you have another job or is it just CQ? So, absolutely.
But see, CQ is his brand. If I can say for a second. That I think I talked about this last year when he first started to, do his club quarantine for free in the beginning, free, because he loved it, because he's doing something he loved. And then people started noticing, creating a community. The community talked online. Brands started to see, because I think what was the first thing that he did? I forgot what it was. He did a show, an award show for, and I was like, see, that's the free model that works to build the brand that builds the business that he has now. So here we are, 15 months later. So yeah, look at it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
It's a model. It certainly is a case study and a model for the power of forming online communities and how they translate to, people are always wondering how to monetize. And it's not that. Sorry, go ahead, Jasmine.
No, sorry, cut you off. No, I was just agreeing with you, like how they monetize in real life. Because that's something that I've always pushed people to do, encourage people to do, is to build community. Even before the past year, is to really build community, because those people are going. Your community is who's going to be loyal. It doesn't matter how big or small.
Correct.
It is, but those are the people that's going to advocate for you. Those are the people that's going to like support you, and no matter what you do. And he definitely, that was one of the other things that fascinated me so much in the beginning about CQ. Wasn't just the music and all that, but it was just the fact that, I mean, he can go live at whatever, it don't matter what time, day, night, it does not matter. And there's gonna be thousands of people in there because they feel connected, not just to him, but to one another. And that's something that you can't teach it. Like, you just can't teach that. It just has to be something that is innate, but it is something that can be done. Not like on that scale, but people can do it. It just requires a certain level of like honesty, authenticity, and just being open and to the flow of things. But that was definitely one of the things that captivated me. It was just that community aspect. And I'm been racking my mind, like trying to figure out how can I like break this down to other people, like in what kind of format, because it's a phenomenon in and of itself.
Yes, it absolutely is. And by the way, if you don't know, Jasmine and TJ, you should know each other if you don't know each other, because there's synergy there. I'll shut up there. So, yes, definitely. Jasmine meets TJ, TJ meets Jasmine.
Hello.
Hi, TJ.
Hello. Let me go follow you on Clubhouse.
That's right. Make the connections. Use this for what it's worth.
Yes.
I just did a follow. Okay.
There you go.
And I'm not on Clubhouse because I get the echo from two places. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't let you lower it all the damn way. They're like, no, we need you to hear. I'm like, sometimes I don't want to hear everything, and sometimes people will be talking, and I just want to, not you all, but sometimes I'll be in a room, and I just need to turn it down, but I still hear
you
that glimmer because you can't. I said, well, then I just have to leave this room because I can't.
It's like 99% down. It's like, I want 100%.
Nonsense. But those are my media stories. I think, do I have one more? I think I am. Oh, wait. I do have one more. For those of you that are Roku fans, they have debuted their first series from a new branded content studio, which is their Roku Originals. So 3 months after they created Roku Originals, there are promising new things coming from them. It's called Roku. They launched Roku Recommends on Thursday. It's a 15-minute weekly program co-hosted by former Extra host Maria Menounos and former NFL turned TV host Andrew Hawkins. So, sounds like a gospel singer's name.
Yes.
So it premieres each Thursday, as I said, and what they do is they present their top 5 titles to watch. Some of the picks will be new releases, and others will be dug up through a mix of data mining and human curation. So what people are watching, basically, and then what you put in your queue to watch, I guess. So you're not going to be able to sponsor this if you're an advertiser, but you will be able to purchase time slots in the show during which Menounos and Hawkins will discuss a featured promo by a brand. You already kind of see this in a lot. Wendy Williams does it. You see this on a lot of shows where they do the featured product.
Yes.
And then guess who signed up for the premier sponsor? Walmart.
Wow, Walmart is just get it, Walmart.
Okay, I guess they said we can't buy TikTok. We're gonna have our hands in everything else.
Yep, they're sponsoring a lot of stuff on TikTok. So.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
So that really is it for my media piece for this week.
Yes, in line with your Roku story, I saw Quibi's ad for their content. Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess that's nice. Their little 15-minute, whatever that length of it was, with Lawrence Fishburne and somebody else. I was like, oh, okay. And I proceeded to roll past it, but it was there.
Okay. Quibi was a thing for 6 months. It's no longer, say 3 months, really.
Can I say that when I hear Quibi, it sounds like a little Furby animal?
It does.
It does.
That's what I get a picture of a Furby in my head when I hear Quibi.
Exactly.
I thought it was just me.
No, I do. For those who don't know what it stands for, was an acronym for Quick Bites.
Really? Okay, I still don't get it. Okay, whatever.
Because it was going to be short.
Because they're short. None of the shows were longer than 10 minutes, and they were like quick bites. Remember, there's this whole thing about snackable content,
right?
And so that's where the bites came from. The quick bites.
Quibi.
Again, you had people who were unfamiliar with the situation speaking and working in it, and that's why it failed. But who am I sitting here in front of a camera? Nobody.
And okay, but quick bites. Okay, never mind.
I still can't believe they got all that money just to fail 6 months later. That still blows my mind.
I think it was good that they got out before they kept going, because
they were very smart. They were very smart, and they're absolutely But Jasmine, it's because it's Jeff Katzenberg. Anytime, this is what puzzles me about Hollywood. Simply because of the name of who this person is, and because they had succeeded in something before, that star power will draw dollars. Never mind they knew nothing about streaming. Never mind they didn't understand who the audience is that watches things vertically. Never mind they knew nothing about the matter or the situation. It's Jeff Katzenberg. And I keep forgetting the woman who was involved with it too. So we're going, but
Meg Whitman.
Thank you, Meg Whitman. Thank you, and Meg Whitman. It's those two.
So
you got my money.
This is how I judge it. Does Gen Z millennial know who you are when
you don't know? They don't give a damn.
That's my point. That's my point. We know Jeffrey Katzenberg. Oh, this and that, but they're like, who?
They don't know. Look, for them, producers now are the people on TikTok.
Yep.
Oh,
self-producers.
Dryer bud.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
They don't have the traditional sense of producer, director, line, but they don't know that traditional sense of Hollywood hierarchy or production hierarchy, because they don't give a damn either. They don't give two damns. That's not the age they come from.
That's old school, getting a studio, getting cameras, this and that. These the Gen Z, Gen Alpha. This thing here is their studio. This phone. They don't care about that stuff. So they don't know who Jeffrey Katzenberg is and don't care. So there you go.
And if people in business did not turn their attention to the influencers now, and what's happening now, you're going to be stuck like the U.S. government. You're going to be slow to respond or whatever, because you're not paying attention to what's coming.
Right.
That's why we're here. Just because I don't get Spotify doesn't mean that the other people aren't.
Yeah, absolutely.
So exactly. I still need to tune in, whether I agree with using it or not. I need to find out what's going on if I am going to stay relevant in the coming years.
And that's what this game is all about, staying relevant, not reveling in what used to be. And I think that's part of the problem in media, legacy media. First of all, let's be clear, and I don't want to go on and on because I know we need to wrap, but legacy media still draws the majority of advertising dollars. Okay. And when I say legacy media, I'm really talking television. They draw the majority of advertising dollars. But as we start to move out of this linear television first world, that's when we need to look at, all right, well, what are people watching and where are they watching it? How can I reach them? If you ask Gen Z, Gen Alpha, lower end of millennials, where they saw an ad for something last, they probably will tell you Instagram.
Yep.
They're not going to say after the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. They're not going to say that.
They don't watch that. They don't watch
No,
TV.
they don't.
We don't watch that, barely.
I don't.
I don't even watch it.
No.
Everything I consume is on my iPad or my phone.
Exactly. We've moved to that. So it's irrespective of generation at this point. I grew up on TV. I still am a TV junkie. TV till the day I die. But I understand that there are different ways of consuming content and different types of content out there. And if you're going to be a successful creator, a successful producer, a successful person that generates monetary dividends off of this, you have to understand that. And while they understand, the big people, they don't care. And they want for things to be like it was. This is why they're so overjoyed. There was a story I pulled up that what is it? AMC, AMC, they had experienced you have AMC stock,
Terry,
right? So you probably Terralina, so you probably noticed a bump, right?
Oh yes.
Yes. Okay. So you noticed that bump. So they're all like, ho, we back. We's back. You're not back.
You're not
back. But they think they're back. But because they refuse to acquiesce to the new ways. So they're looking at all these little signs. Oh, that means we're back. You're not.
Nope.
2 people were in the theater the other day. How are you back?
That's not back.
Dr. Kachi, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but it just popped in my mind. We saw so much, of course, so much live streaming last year on like Disney Plus and, Netflix and so many shows that broke out. Do you know, or anyone know, like even a guesstimate of how that kind of fared? Like the live stream movies that were released last year that did really well versus maybe like movies that came out in 2019? Because I kind of feel like they did better on movies did better on live stream last year than in the theaters.
So here's the thing. No. But I mean, you're seeing something. It did better in some senses, but worse in others. So when we're saying worse in other senses, the amount of money that they made in 2019, 2020 paled in comparison to, even though they tried to quickly pivot and put things, online for people to watch. So obviously there was less revenue that was made, right? Which is why you saw that tremendous drop in the movie houses and now these struggling theaters. So while a lot of people did watch, you had a lot of eyeballs watching all of these products on Disney Plus, etc. But the revenue was not there. And what the industry considers success is the revenue. That's what they consider success. So in that sense, they did worse, but better in the sense of they were able to, despite the circumstances, get the number of eyeballs they did. Because if you look at what the box office, receipts were for this and the money made off of it, it wasn't as much. Although you could look at it in success, there's more chances for sponsorship, right? Yeah. If this is something that goes on Disney Plus, you're going to be able to get more chances for sponsorship. Although not mid-roll commercials and things like that, there are going to be more chances for that to monetize that. So it's a success in that way. But the powers that be, like traditional, old school, I made 200 million worldwide this weekend at the box office.
Because they know where that comes from directly versus the other way where it's like, okay, it's coming from here, there, and everywhere. When it's the box office, it's like people went in. And sat in the chair and paid and bought the ticket. So that's why they like that way better.
Well, we don't do that anymore. So
Right.
Carlos has a comment. He says, we live in a world of distraction. As people get older, legacy becomes appealing. But right now, distraction and squirrel video has no real pattern.
Yeah, you know what? And that's an excellent point, because the thing with what's happening it's not even new media, it's just media. But what they term new media is that you're right. There's nothing that is like a solid, methodical way of doing things. And so in a sense, it's scattered, because you have to go to 2 million different places to find out what's happening here. It's not always the same time, the same day. And there's a lot of on demand where you can decide when that plays for you. So it's a individual siloed experience, whereas legacy is meant to be a mass experience, a mass medium for a large numbers of people at the same time. Pros and cons to both. But you're right, as people get older, they like what is...
They like familiar.
They like familiar, exactly. But remember, these older people are not going to be around forever. I'm sorry to say. Nobody's going to be around forever. So at some point, these people that are millennials, those of us that are Gen X never thought that, even the lower end of Gen X, we never thought you get to that point. It's like, oh, damn.
Exactly.
So, but these people that are millennials now, some of them are in their lower 40s, okay? In like 40. So we're talking about, in their 30s, maybe ended. So we're talking about they're getting to the point where they're having kids and things like that, right? And they're married and have kids, buying homes, that type of thing. So, after a while, they've grown up with things a certain way. It could be that they continue those patterns of consuming, and that's what they teach their children.
Right. Because they're not going to do what their parents did. And their kids will not do what they're doing. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the other point I wanted to make about Cruella, right? It's in theater. Well, it's not in theaters. It's in Disney Plus, and Disney brought it out, and at a $29 thing, you had to have Disney Plus and pay the $29. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I like the dogs that much.
I don't, and I don't like two-tone hair that much either to pay that.
And I think the storyline is going to be good or whatever. It's okay. How many times have we seen 101 Dalmatians rebranded all the way through? But they had to do something to get it for people to watch it. So everybody with kids, this is the summer movie.
Right.
And I don't know if it's in the theaters. It's going to be going to theaters as well. Okay, so and I think
it is a
question. It is in theaters, isn't it?
It's in theaters. It's both places.
Okay, so they have it in both places. So they're gonna get you in the popcorn or the concessions. You still gonna pay $30. They're gonna get you in the concessions, or they're gonna get you on the app,
right?
For $30,
right?
Okay. Can I be mad at their business model if it works?
No,
I cannot. Good for them.
I mean, but they got the movie out there.
They did.
HBO Max did the same thing. If I want to watch something on HBO Max, I'm gonna have to.
Right.
I'll say this though. I think what's going to happen is that the industry is going to need to get used to not making the record amount of revenue that they're used to making.
Right.
They're going to have to give that. I mean, to be honest, the world in general is overpriced. There are some things that like, now that house, that 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom house doesn't cost $75 million. That. So things are really overpriced and inflated in general. So we're going to need to get used to, people may not want to pay your exorbitant fees to get this because there are other choices.
Yes.
So we're going to have to get used to not making as much revenue, or the industry is going to have to get used to that. They're not going to, and they're fighting it tooth and nail, believe me. But
I'm sorry. Yeah, I think they definitely have to get used to it. And like you mentioned, there's so many options for people. And I'm going to go back to CQ for just a moment.
Yes.
You mentioned about the silo. People are finding their thing and they're sticking with their thing and they're supporting that. So it is a little bit difficult to capture, like for these big companies to capture people when they have, you know, their person or their product or, you know, like their source of entertainment that they're used to. It could be CQ, like the music, or it could be YouTube and like a YouTuber, or it could be a TikToker. I've heard I haven't been on TikTok yet, but I've heard people that spend hours on TikTok watching videos.
Oh my God. It is a
addictive.
rabbit hole, and it's addictive.
So I think the companies have to, they're going to get smacked upside the head in the same way the music industry did, and eventually have to make changes that kind of fit the growing world, because it's not set in stone yet, but that's where it's trending to, and I don't see this changing anytime soon. As long as people have access to a cell phone and Wi-Fi or good connection, this is the way the world is gonna go. I mean, I remember I used to watch whole YouTube web series, and that was my TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
years back. So, and I will watch that before I watch a show on television. So it's kind of like that. That's the way the world is going, and movies and TV networks, they kind of have to get used to it.
Yeah. So I've been studying this marketing class. They're going to have to go from masses to communities and groups now.
Yes.
They can't continue trying to serve the masses because the masses don't want it. The communities and the groups, you got to figure out, okay, so the Cruella movie is for a particular group of people or particular community that wants that. And then you offer that to that community. And just like you said, Dr. Tati, you're going to need to take less money because that group wants that. And you're going to get that compensation from that group. And it's individualized now. Not
Correct. These entertainment silos
anymore.
Right. The niches and these entertainment silos. And if I could just add, it's going to be interesting to see this trend. The transition is already starting to happen because they've realized what the old media model is based off of is middle America, non-melanated people, and their wants, needs, and desires. And so what we saw reflected in media was that. And if you didn't want that, then too bad. Don't watch TV, don't listen to the radio, etc. So it was based off of that, and that was what mass meant. But now people are realizing that amongst the masses are individuals, groups, communities, people with individual thoughts, wants, needs, and desires. And if we want to make money in this game, we want to cater to that because people have a desire to see themselves reflected in media and reflected in a positive light in media, not just any. So I think there's starting to be this reckoning and realization after they've been shamed, albeit into it, because people never do things on their own. It's always with shame and head hanging and threat of boycott that happens. So we're starting to see it now, which is why we're starting to see more niche. I find it fascinating. I know I'm going on and on about it, but this stuff fascinates me.
Yeah. This is good. Yeah. Well, we have had a lively conversation as always. We want to thank everybody who tuned in live on the replay in Clubhouse with Crystal and Jasmine, Dr. Tati, Dryer Buzz, Shay, Cheryl. Thank you all for tuning in. Everybody over here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching from. See, that's the thing. We just talked about that. You serve it wherever you put it out there, and you may not get thousands of people to watch you on Twitter. You may not get thousands on YouTube. You may not you're going to get those who are interested, and then you serve those who are interested, just like with D Nice. He has the community, and those who are interested are flocking to him.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That is it. We will be back on Monday with coffee, tea, thoughts and conversations. And we just want to say thank you all for tuning in live, replay, however you got here. We appreciate you.
Okay, we just want to remind you, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. We'll see you Monday for Coffee, Tea, Thoughts, and Conversations, and First Mondays with the Biz Chicks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.